around here we love Jimmy High Roller, our NBA informant. So today he's just released another video. This guy is he's cooking with these NBA trades. There's a lot going on in the NBA, so there's a lot of content for him to be releasing. But it's only an 8-minute video. Quick summary, what he's gonna tell us, let's see.
About a year ago, or 368 days to be exact, the basketball world came to a halt as news broke that the Dallas Mavericks sent Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers in an
craziest day in history right there.
Was this news shocking? But the immediate and justifiable reaction was that this trade was possibly the dumbest trade in NBA history.
Alright, but hey, look now. Cooper Flag is dropping 30-point triple-doubles right now. 30-point games back on end. So, like, I mean, it wasn't the worst idea. Like, bro, Luka doesn't play defense. He's he's one of the best scorers of all time. And he can assist and get rebounds. But on the defensive end, this guy is a sack of potatoes. He sucks. Honestly, I don't think Nico did a bad job.
But only time would tell if it was truly the worst trade we've ever seen. Fast forward 1 year, almost to the day, and turns out the initial reactions were correct. Because the Luka trade wasn't just dumb, it is now definitively the worst trade in NBA history.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah, they did trade for Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis is made of fucking glass and proxy glue or whatever. He sucks. I think he's gonna retire. I don't see him coming back.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings.
Bro, we don't care. Okay, I'm ready for my scolding. Oh my, I didn't realize that I had my mic off that whole time. You just heard like the people I was playing with talking and like, you're like, who are they talking to? All right, let's go.
This past Wednesday saw one of the busiest trade deadlines in recent years.
Yep.
After what looked like it was going to be an uneventful
Bro,
day,
it felt like there was something going on every day. And I was trying to stay off my phone and off TikTok and off Instagram so I wouldn't know until I came on stream. Like what? Tingus Pingus went to the Warriors? Since when? He just got to Atlanta. Damn. Bro, no one appreciates Tingus Pingus so much.
trades began to pour in for...
Wait, Hawks get Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield? What is going on? What? They actually traded Kuminga. And Buddy Hield. Oh, they traded them two for Tingus Pingus. They did need a center.
From around the league. James Harden to the Cavaliers, Garland to the Clippers, Vucevic to the Celtics, Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz, Jeremy Kane to the Thunder. And in the midst of a flurry of trades came this...
Anthony Davis to the Wizards! And D'Angelo Russell. Bro, what the hell is that trade? Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and Malaki Branham. Bro, the Wizards just gave them absolute, like, a trash can, a fucking pile of clothes, and a half-eaten Twinkie bar. And the Wizards got a potential defensive player of the year. Some guy named that looks like James Harden. Knockoff James Harden. Timu James Harden. Yeah. Timu James Harden. D'Angelo Russell. The coldest celebration. And Dante Exum. Australia's own. I think the Wizards won that, but like... Really, you're not going to get a game out of Anthony Davis. So like, I don't know.
The final chapter in the worst trade in NBA history.
So Mavericks, yeah. Oh wait, yeah, I get it now. Mavericks pretty much traded Luka Doncic for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and Malaki Branham and 2 first-round picks.
Fairly quick negotiation, Anthony Davis and company were traded to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second.
Marvin Bagley? Where does it say that?
Round picks. An exchange that doesn't sound terrible at first glance, but after about a second of coherent thought, the reality sets in that what the Mavericks have managed to do over the last 12 months might just be the most egregious case of mismanagement in the league's history. Because if coughing up Luka for AD in a bag of chips wasn't bad enough, the Mavs doubled down and sent AD packing for next to nothing. Now,
Wow.
Anthony Davis was the bulk of the haul the Mavericks received for Luka last February, meaning that the Mavericks have now essentially traded away franchise icon, perennial MVP candidate, generational player Luka Doncic for this. 2 starting caliber players.
Hey, don't count out my boy AJ Johnson, bro. He was like the top 10 pick. So like, give it a few years. Marvin Bagley, bro. Former number 1 overall. We're still waiting for him to, make that jump.
First round picks, 3 second round picks, and expiring contract.
Hey, they got 3 first round picks and 3 second round picks. That's pretty good.
But a lot of these assets either aren't worth much or were simply add-ons throughout these dealings. Max Christie, Chris Middleton, and Marvin Bagley are the only productive players here. The 2026 first-round pick from the Thunder will likely end up as the 30th pick in the draft. The 2030 first-rounder is a Warriors top 20 protected pick 4 years from now, and the second-round picks are just throw-ins. A complete
Never mind.
dark that rarely
I take that
contains
back.
anything of substance. In fact, the Wizards spoke about their acquisition of AD and said they were, quote, ecstatic because the outgoing first-round picks have relatively little value. So if we condense this down to the real value of this trade, then we're left with this. The Mavericks traded Luka Doncic for a starter, 2 rotational players, and 1 first-round pick. This is not a bad trade. This is basketball malpractice, reprehensible, a fireable offense. Oh wait. Compare what the Mavericks got for Luka Doncic to some of the blockbuster trades we've seen over the last few seasons, and you would be convinced that Dallas is actively attempting to be relegated to the G League. 2 years ago, the Nets got 5 first-rounders and a first-round pick swap for Mikal Bridges. In 2022, Rudy Gobert was worth...
I mean, this is just up there with like the Clippers for Paul George. They're around the same level right now.
half a roster, 4 first-rounders, and a first-round pick swap. The OKC Thunder built a championship off the back of a singular season of prime Paul George. I'm not sure what universe the Mavericks live in, but apparently it's one where Luka Doncic is worth about as much as Desmond Bane. It's the ultimate buy high, sell low move from the Mavs. Last February, they were under the impression that Anthony Davis was of comparable value to Luka, his all-NBA level defense and offensive versatility potentially being the missing ingredients for what they hoped would lead them to another run to the finals. 12 months later, they saw him as nothing more than an opportunity to clear cap space. Now trading not 1, but 2 all-NBA caliber players in the span of 1 year. In an article detailing the 1-year aftermath of the Luka trade, it was asked, how do the Mavericks move on from the short-lived AD era? Which is a reasonable question. If this article didn't come out 2 days before he was traded. The Mavericks were already moving on from the quote AD era while he was still physically on their bench just a year after they traded
he's made of
the
glass!
franchise for
He's
him.
made of glass!
The total value they got out of AD, 29 games played out of a possible 81. Only one of those games played with Kyrie Irving. 18 injuries. Yes, you heard that right. 8 games played.
29 games played. And he's probably had about 100 games to be able to play. So he's played 30% of able games.
With Kyrie Irving, 18 injuries. Yes,
18 separate injuries!
only one of those games played with Kyrie Irving. 18
separate injuries, bro! This guy is made of glass!
injuries. Yes, you heard that right. 18 and 16 wins. The Mavericks traded Luka Doncic.
This motherfucker has had more injuries than wins since he got to the Mavericks. Bruh.
For 16 wins. On dunks and threes, there is a metric called estimated wins that attempts to calculate You guessed it. How many wins a player helped contribute to their team's total throughout the course of a season. In Anthony Davis's total time with the Dallas Mavericks, he contributed exactly 2 wins. In fact, since the initial Luka trade 1 year ago, the total number of estimated wins contributed by every player that Dallas acquired as a result of the Luka trade is 9 wins. In that same time span, Luka Doncic has single-handedly contributed 12.4 wins for the Los Angeles Lakers. Since being dealt away by an overzealous Mavericks front office, Luka has been more valuable for the Lakers than every other asset involved in exchange for him
combined.
The Luka trade was so bad that what they got in return for him was nothing more than a salary dump just 1 year later. Now, these head-scratching and irrevocably compounding decisions would leave you thinking that the Mavericks were desperate for some inkling of success, irrationally quick to make decisions, and unfamiliar with long-term results, which might be true if they weren't here in the finals just 18.
Wait, was that the clip where he took the beer out of his hand?
Irrationally quick to make decisions and unfamiliar with long-term results, which might be true.
Yeah, there. He's taking the beer out of his hand. And then Luka just looks at him like, huh?
If they weren't here in the finals just 18 months ago. They know the ingredients for a winning team. They've made great moves in the past. In fact, this was their winning recipe. The roster that got them within 3 wins of a championship just 2 seasons ago.
Bro, they had Luka and Kyrie together. Wow.
But out of the 12 players from this finals roster, only 4 of them are currently on the Mavericks today. Dallas rolled the dice and traded away a finals team for a potential long shot to go back to the finals. Dallas's one saving grace, the only thing keeping them out of the depths of NBA irrelevance for the foreseeable future, is of course Cooper Flagg, a player that fell into their lap through no work of their own. A pick they had just a 1.8% chance of winning on the night of the draft lottery, jumping from the 11th spot in the draft to the first pick as a result of the lottery, which, in case you didn't know, is the single largest jump in position any team has ever made in the history of the NBA lottery. If it wasn't
something ain't right about that. You smell that? Hold on. You smell that? You smell that, guys? You smell that? Smells like fish. Smells like fish.
For Cooper Flagg,
So did they win? I just got here. Also, methane check. Oh, methane check. Good one. Wait, so did they win? As in the Mavericks? Hell no! Oh, wait. As in the number 1 pick? Yeah, they got the number 1 pick. They were meant to have like the number 10 pick, and they somehow got the number 1 pick, and everyone was like, oh, that's fishy. Like, something ain't right here. There's something going on. There's some, like, corrupt shit going on behind the scenes. Like, the NBA is saving Nico Harrison right now for giving up Luka Doncic for a bag of peanuts. So we're going to give them the number 1 pick.
The best players on the court for the Dallas Mavericks organization this season would have been Max Christie and Najee Marshall, which means that the only thing that prevented the Mavericks from being the worst team in the league with no hope in sight 18 months removed from a finals appearance was pure, incredibly unlikely, unprecedented luck. At least the Mavericks have found another direction for their franchise. For a second there, it almost felt like they made the worst trade in NBA history. As great as Luka is, the Lakers are dealing with their own ups and downs, you know? Luka isn't a perfect player. Anyone could have made the rash decision to trade him away for almost nothing with absolutely no recourse in place. He is, after all, just the 3rd best player in the world. At least the...
Fuck yeah! W, bro! W! W, gaming Jesus! Hell yeah. Also, is this good? Don't die, man. Is this good? Bro, this guy right here. Hold on, win it. Hey guys, make sure you check out my boy. He be streaming like every day. Go say hi. He be playing a lot of Fortnite. He be doing everything. He plays a lot with Atroce, and we love Atroce around here. So, you know, I feel like he's got to change his name now that he's a hot dog. He's got to Atrocious doesn't. You know, you got the burnt peanut, who's a peanut, but then you got Atroce, who's a hot dog. Like we need to fix his name up. We need to give him a name that matches the hot dog. We can call him like mustard, ketchup, onions, art dog. Oh, art dog. Oh, I hear it. I do hear that one. Hold on. Let's cook right now. Let's cook. I've got it. Y'all wanna hear it? Just let me know. Yes? The name I have come up with for Atroce to change from Atroce to fit his new brand is Glizzytroce! Glizzytroce, yeah, that's right, let's go! Let's see how it looks in like text form. Something like that, Glizzytroce. Oh. Nah. Listen. Oh, wait! Glizzy Rose, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your glizzy, like, you know when you see like a fine woman out in public and your glizzy rises? It's like, oh, whenever he sees his wife, his glizzy rose. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, right? That's funny. It's funny. Right? It's funny. Nah, it's funny. Glizzy Rose. I'm playing with him tomorrow, so I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna see how he feels.
Player they traded away wasn't one of the most valuable.
There is no way he's number 3 for the best player traded away. Estimated wins 14.8. You're telling me his offense game is that good? It outweighs his defense, because his defense is absolute bun cheeks.
Assets ever traded away in the history of modern.
Damn, Allen Iverson was like that? Wait, but James Harden's the exact same. That guy does not play defense. These motherfuckers that don't play defense, that are just like offensive weapons. Like even Chris Paul, he's tiny. How the fuck? Oh, no. Oh wait, that was it. Oh.